What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the player ratings for the Sassuolo game. We won 3-0. Let's see, that's 10, 12. Is that 15 goals in the last 4 games? I think 6 in the Coppa Italia, 4 in the Coppa Italia. So that's 10, 2 against Salernitana, 3. So 15 goals in the last 4 games, which is insane. If you if you're a Juve fan and you have been here the last couple of years, that's crazy. But we have scored quite a lot of goals lately. We are still on this impressive path in terms of results because we're picking up result after result and we're keeping pace with the league favorite, which is a good thing. But we go into the player ratings because we have quite a lot to go through and some interesting things did happen. Before I do that, like the video. Let's get to 65 likes for player rating. So that's the goal for this video. So hit that like button now. Really appreciate it, and let's jump straight into the ratings. We start off with Chesney. Now, if you watch my preview, I said I don't want to see a 7 out of 10 performance from Chesney because that means we had a disaster of a game. I gave him a 7. We didn't have a disaster of a game. However, in that second half, we were sloppy. We were not good. We didn't really try to build up. We didn't keep possession, and it was because that game was kind of over because how poor Sassuolo were as well. Now, that can change in a flip second, and that almost did change by a stupid deflection. However, Chesney was amazing because he was already a little bit diving to the other side, and it took that deflection, and he stood still, and that was a strong hand to deny. I think it was Berardi, and that was important, because what poor Sassuolo were, that could have changed the game if that went in. So I didn't want to give him a 7, but that was a ridiculous save. And actually, I think Chesney has been disrespected this season so much. Actually, the last couple of years, and I'm not sure what that's all about. If it's about wages, then it's not fair because a lot of players are getting away with much worse performances, and kind of the same wages. So I gave him a 7. Rugani, 6. He had just an okay game, I think he deserves to start. This was probably not the best of games. He wasn't terrible or whatsoever, but he has played better games this season in terms of just being in control of your opponent. However, like I said, played that brilliant streak and then straight to the bench, which is also not a good thing. It's not a good thing. That goes for all players. What that does with your belief and whatsoever. But I didn't give him a 6. I thought he had a good game. Bremer 6.5 and Danilo 6.5. Bremer just played this game as he usually does. So 6.5. I think that's straightforward. Danilo, however, he came out and he said, "I've not been playing well," and I think we all agreed. However, tonight I thought he was very good. On the ball, much improved. Reading the game, much improved. Winning his duels, much improved. The lads ditch tackle for a cross from Sassuolo was at 85 minute. He has improved this game. Now he needs to pick it up and keep it going because Allegri's gonna pick him. So I cannot sit here and hope he fails whatsoever. I hope he does well. But that's the game. This is the game he needs to build on if he wants to get back to his normal form, because the last couple of weeks it wasn't good at all. And I'm being nicely. In some games it was really kind of painful to see. Because he was struggling a lot, and he admitted himself. But that was a good performance. Finally. So 6.5 for me. Now let's move to the midfield, and that's where people will call me out, I guess, because I was torn between 6s and 6.5s, and I gave players 6 because they weren't a 6.5. And some players that got a 6.5 were probably a 6, but they were not as bad as a player I gave a 6, if that makes sense. Cambiasso, 6.5. The benchmark is Rabiot. I gave Rabiot a 6, by the way. That you need to get started with, because I think he had an okay game. It wasn't flashy whatsoever. He just did what Rabiot did, all game long. So I gave him a 6. So that was a standard. However, I thought Cambiasso stood above that. In the second half, nobody really shined. If I'm being completely honest, we kind of did whatever, to get that game over the line. That was just the vibe of the evening of the second half. So, but Cambiasso, the drive, the belief in himself, the actually joy. If you watch him play, like, it's always straightforward. It's always direct. It's always adventurous and whatsoever. And that's something we have been missing lately. He is improving big time, and especially defensively. That was my biggest worry. But defensively, he has improved, and going forward, like, he can improve a lot still, which is a good thing. But he's playing at a very good level lately. So 6.5. Miretti, 6.5, because those goals are because of him as well. Winning the foul like that, but the runs he makes, I'll keep saying it. We play better we play better. The results are kind of the same, but we play better with different players, not just Miretti, but other players in the team. We do play, in my opinion, better football, and we win games as well. That's also a key element. On Sunday, you're probably not going to see Miretti start because Mikani is back, and maybe not Yildiz as well. But you play a different brand of football when you have players like Cambiasso, Miretti, and Yildiz on the pitch. It is what it is. That's just because of pure characteristics. His movement is important. It really is important. And the last couple of weeks, he has been playing much better. How we think about Miretti, and it wasn't really coming off for him first part of the season. However, the last couple of weeks, he's playing better, and now it's up to Allegri to not sit him out for 90 minutes or give him garbage time minutes. Now you need to build on that. You need to give him that trust. Maybe start him a game, give him 20 minutes, whatever. But this momentum needs to be maintained for him as well, because now is the moment to push ahead for him as well. Will it happen on Sunday? Probably not. Mikani's back, but you never know. Maybe he benches Weah again and Mikani goes on the wing. Who knows what's going to happen? But I thought that was a good game. Locatelli, I thought he was very good. So 6.5, on the ball, winning the ball back. I thought he had a very good game. And actually, lately, he has been playing much, much better compared to, in my opinion, the previous years. There's some more consistency within his game, which is good to see. I think he starts to finally believe that he can play that role. But it's up to him to maintain that consistency, because I think that's his biggest issue. Has been his biggest issue since he came to the club. Not just him, many players, but we're talking about Locatelli, so 6.5. Rabiot, I said. Kostic, I don't want to be negative, but that he was the worst player on the pitch again. He wasn't good. Defensively, he was good. On the ball, he wasn't good, man. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm actually at a point where I do feel sorry for him, because I don't hate Kostic whatsoever. He's a good guy. Last season, you can hate his playing style, but as a person, it is what it is. But he's not playing well, and it's up to Allegri to help him out and get him out of the fire line, because he keeps putting him in there, and he keeps delivering the same type of performances, and the pressure mounts. He reads everything. He knows what's going around. I'm not gonna insult him whatsoever. However, he didn't have a good game. That weird cross to Vlahovic setting up a counter for Sassuolo. Then in the first half, that heavy touch, hitting the defender again with a cross. I feel for him, because he's overdoing. Post-game, Allegri said Vlahovic was overdoing it against Frosinone and in other games. I'm like, that's the same for Kostic, but you need to help Kostic out. And even if you do not want to play Junior, then fine, you play Weah and Cambiasso, if that's... if Junior is the issue, I guess. However, you need to help out Kostic at this moment in time, because I really, really feel for him. I really am feeling for him. I'm starting to feel for him, because he's just in that moment, and he's not getting out of it. And it's for weeks now. So I'm not sure what Allegri is actually looking at and trying to gain from playing him every single week. But 5.5, I thought he was the worst player on the pitch. And with worse, I don't mean disaster, but compared to the others. Then the strikers, I give Vlahovic an 8. And I did that on purpose, because somebody called me out for giving Milik an 8 because he scored in a hat-trick. He scored a hat trick, excuse me. And I said, if people know how I do my ratings, that's what it is. If that was a hat trick in a Champions League and the quality of goals was unbelievable, that would have been a 10, like people were suggesting. Should Vlahovic have gotten an 8? You might say in the comments no. But those goals were excellent. Lately, he has been playing better. I think he has 4 goals and 2 assists in the last 4 games, but his hold-up play, like he's working hard, it's much, much, much improved. And I know the level wasn't that good. But these are the games I'm talking about. There are many games when he missed that one chance and everybody was like, oh my God, you're crap and whatsoever. And I said, it's one chance, it's not fair, Today, he had 0 chances because those goals were not chances. Like when people talk about missed chances, those were not chances. Like those were ridiculous goals. However, on the score sheet, it says 2 goals. Up after 2-0, our GA expected goals was 0.27 and we scored 2 goals. And in games, we might have an expected goals from 1 point, I don't know, and it was because of a good chance Vlahovic or Chiesa missed, And today, it's the flip side. That's why I'm like, we need balance with all these things because we created absolutely, like, if we're being honest, we didn't create chances again. We didn't. The goals, like the last one, we won that ball back with Chiesa, fine. Other than that, we did not put Consigli under any big trouble. We didn't put any pressure, real pressure on Consigli. However, we scored 3 goals. And that's what you also expect from your striker. Maybe not those ridiculous goals. However, you expect at times you're not going to get those chances. Now you make it happen. And he made it happen. And it was important for us. So I gave him an 8 because lately he has improved and he is scoring big goals lately. He's just this, Frosinone, Salernitana, this one as well, and he's playing better. So 8. Yildiz, I give him a 7. And you might say that's not a 7 type of performance. And I'm going to say, to be fair, no. However, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed because I'm not looking for goal. Like goals are good for him because that's great, but that's not the benchmark. I'm looking at him and be like, if you do not get a goal today, you had a terrible game. I'm not looking at it in that way. I'm not, because that would not be fair. However, on the ball, he is so good. And I'm not even talking about the 3 nutmegs and I don't know, in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because that's just fun. That's who he is. But he's composed. He can read the game. He can slow pace down. He can pick out the players. He can switch play. Like he understands what needs to happen. And he does that so cleanly, calmly. He's not scared to track back and get in there, make that technical foul. Like he understands what needs to be done, And when you have Allegri post game saying that he just can play football, like he's just that good, he understands everything. He's extremely clean. He's smart. He will have bad performances soon because that's what's gonna happen with youngsters. And like I said, that's fine. That's fair. You need to learn from that. But I'm like, it's kind of out of nowhere, and we needed that because Chiesa was out. Like, if we didn't have Yildiz, we would have an issue with players who can relieve pressure, carry the ball, drive with the ball, and he's been doing that at a very good level, in my opinion, ever since he got that opportunity against Frosinone away from home in the league. So 7 for me. Then the subs, the last 3, I'm not going to rate the last 3. They didn't get any time. I don't think he had a good game. Lately he was playing well. Not really the miss, because you can miss that chance, whatever. First time it wasn't all that simple, but he was pressing, and maybe because he was looking at the others and it was so slow paced, and he was like, I got 30 minutes, I'm just gonna push for it, but it wasn't coming off for him. So 5.5. Chiesa, I give him 6.5 because not because it was a brilliant goal. You might say Consigli should have saved that. However, he needed that goal. We needed that goal. We're going to need Chiesa because there will be a time when Yildiz is not going to have that type of performance. And we need Chiesa. We need him at his best. If we want to push on, we need him at his best, And yes, the 2 weeks off with the niggle turned out to be good for Yildiz and turned out to be okay for us, but we need Chiesa at a top level again, because if we want to compete until the end, we're gonna need Chiesa. We're absolutely gonna need Chiesa. So I gave him a 6.5. Happy for him. Happy that he got that goal, no matter how it came. because he needed that as well for his confidence moving, away to Lecce. But those are my player ratings. Let me know in the comments what you think. You'll probably not agree as usual, but that's fair. Let me know what I messed up, and like the video. Let's get to, what did I say, 65 likes? Should be easy for you guys. So hit that like button, and I will be back live today with some members to break down the game. Thanks for watching. Ciao.